7 News Alert at 4:30 live right off the top here. You are looking at history in the making, a thousand years in the making. A joint declaration being signed here between Pope Francis and the Russian Patriarch Kirill right now, taking place live in Havana, Cuba. This is a meeting taking place at Jose Marti International Airport that is quite historic to see if these two sides of Catholicism can bridge the gap that has divided them for 1,000 years now.
And that is what has made this occasion so historic. And they really are expected to touch on really the single most important issue of this whole thing, and that is the shared concern between the Catholic and Orthodox churches in terms of the plight of Christians in Iraq and Syria who are being killed and driven from their homes by the Islamic State group. It's being signed, ironically enough, in the ideally unique location of Cuba, which is far removed from the Catholic Orthodox turf battles that are happening in Europe, a country that is Catholic and familiar to Latin America's first pope, but equally familiar to the Russian Church, given its anti-American and Soviet legacy.
Patriarch Kirill there that we're looking at as he says a few words to the people in the meeting here at Jose Marti International Airport. Arrived in Cuba yesterday. He was greeted there by Cuban leader Fidel Castro. And today, Pope Francis arrived this afternoon, and he was also greeted by the Cuban leader Fidel Castro when he arrived at Jose Marti International Airport earlier today. The Pope is just making a pit stop here in Havana. He's actually on his way to Mexico from here. He will be in Mexico for a 5-day trip of that country. And he just made the stop here to see if perhaps this historic meeting could take place. It was arranged. It took 2 years of secret planning behind the scenes to try and get these two leaders of Catholicism behind the secret meeting to be able to sign this joint declaration that hopefully will improve the relations between East and West that has divided them for over 1,000 years.